I'm poison.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I have something new for you, something fresh. This is my brand new Poison Rogue Necromancer, and I'm happy to report we are over 400 corruption, took out the tier 10 Harbinger, and I'm excited to show you it today. As always, I will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. All right, starting off with some gameplay. Now, the skills we're using for this new Poison Skeleton Rogue Necromancer are Summon Skeletal Mage, Aura of Decay, Dread Shade, Summon Golem, and of course, Summon Skeleton. And our Summon Skeleton, we are using Skeleton Rogues that use multiple skills. They dash to the enemy, and they do a ton of damage the way we have them spec'd. You can put about we're only using 12 minions, so you could put about 4 to 450 dots of poison on the enemy, but that will account for 1 million damage a second when you have all your modifiers and everything going. It's really, really good. Now, for this run, we're at 400 corruption. I am not going to use a potion, okay? I want you to really focus in on my life. We are a non-ward using Necromancer, and what that means is that when we take damage, our life is gonna pop right back up. It almost looks like we're using ward because we could generate over 500 life a second with health regen. Aura of Decay is super boosting our poison. Dread Shade is super boosting our survivability and damage. Golem is soaking up all the damage, and the Rogues and Death Knights are just tearing everything up. This has been my most difficult build for update 1.1. I've changed it so many times, but it is working really, really well. Let me show you a 400 corruption T10 Harbinger. Here we go. 413 corruption tier 10 Rye Harbinger. And just know that in these boss fights, you are using skeletons, right? So your skeletons will die. But you're not resummoning zombies, you're not resummoning wraiths, so it's very easy to just get them right back into the battlefield. For the most part, you're just running around and just repositioning, trying to make sure you keep your minions alive and get them Aura of Decay as much as possible. Like right here, I'm trying to stay close to make sure they're getting that boost to Aura of Decay. And this Harbinger is going down. Done. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills for our Poison Rogue Necromancer, and I'll show you the order in which you want to take. Now, the first skill we're going to look at is Summon Skeletal Mage, and this is actually your traversal skill. So you get a free traversal skill, and you get 5 Death Knights. Now, what you want to do is you want to come over and take this branch first. This is going to give you a 100% poison chance. It's going to boost attack speed. It's going to give you Frenzy. But more importantly, it's going to give you Grave Passage, which is one of the best movement skills in the game. And it'll bring 9 minions with you. So that's why during the gameplay, you saw that when I use Skeleton Mage, my army's always around us. So it's great for repositioning and putting bodyguards around you. You then want to come down here and unlock Death Knights. And then you want to come right here and get 1 extra Death Knight. Now, I only have 20 points into Skeleton Mage right now. If you have more points into this skill, I highly recommend you put them right here into Life Leech, which is going to boost their life, and it'll help keep them and sustain them on the battlefield. Okay? Moving over to Dread Shade. Now, I first started this build, I was like, no, we don't want to use Dread Shade. I had Wraiths in the build, and then we had to go back to Dread Shade, because of course, it is so good. Now on here, you want to come down and you want to take larger area. You want to make it where it no longer drains life. You want increased attack speed, increase area and damage. You're then going to come down and take necrotic damage. You're going to convert that into poison damage. This is not a crit build. So blinding your minions, who cares? It doesn't matter. You're going to give them 40% increased attack speed. So take Blind Fury. You then want to come up and nab Martyrdom, because this is going to give you, we spec into Vitality a little bit into this build. I think I've got about 30 points right now, which will get us almost 800 armor for our minions, which is absolutely huge as far as helping sustain them and keep them alive. All right. Moving over to Summon Bone Golem. first thing you want to do is come down here, take health and armor, take generate threat, take huge golem, because we only have one. We are not using Aaron's Will on this build because that does not allow you to cast skeletons. You then want to come down and boost the movement speed of your golem, but really what you're doing is you're boosting the movement speed for all of your minions. And this is really important as far as the build feeling good. Since you are melee and not ranged, the minions actually have to move to their targets. So this just helps them with that. You're then going to take increased armor to again give more survivability. And then we're going to give our golem chill chance so that he chills attackers. If you have any extra points, I would just continue to boost chill chance. Moving over to our damage dealer, and yes, that number is correct. Right now we have 27 points, and I almost put on a Nihilus Amulet, which would have given us 29, but right now we're just going to keep it at 27. And this one's a little more difficult to kind of show you the order, but I will do my best. Okay, first thing you want to do is you want to come up here and you want to unlock skeleton rogues. This adds rogues to the mix. You then want to come over here and you want to remove warriors. You then want to come down here and you want to remove archers. Once that's done, you want to add skeletons. So you can add a maximum skeleton here and add a maximum skeleton here, and you will always already have this maximum skeleton, so you'll have 3. You then want to cut the number in half, which is going to boost their size, health, and damage. You then want to come over here and you want to boost the cooldown recovery speed and the damage and give them flasks. Lastly, you want to come over here and give them leech and physical resistance so that they can stay alive because they attack very, very quickly. And this is your damage dealer. I can't believe I'm even saying this. Skeleton rogues. Skeletons. 400 corruption, taking down tier 10 harbingers. Unbelievable. Last but certainly not least, Aura of Decay. And when you look at this, first thing you want to do is take this tree. It's going to give you some healing. It's going to give you 100% poison chance for all of your minions, even though it will damage them. That's okay. That's why you see my golem's life slowly going down. And then it's going to give nearby minions poison damage 75% multiplicative, which is just absolutely huge. You will notice the difference when Aura of Decay is not toggled on. Then you're going to come down here, take larger area, so it's easier for you to give Aura Decay to your minions. You're going to take health regen on deactivate, but really this is going to take care of your poison resistance. And then you're going to come down here, less poison damage taken, and then enemy poison resistance, which is always going to be on because you're normally always going to be close to the enemies. Those are the skills. Moving over to the passive tree, I am currently level 100, so I will show you how to break this down. And without exaggeration, I have changed this tree probably 18 times. Like testing, this build was very hard to figure out. So starting with Acolyte, we have 8 points into Forbidden Knowledge, 7 points into Stolen Vitality, 5 into Dark Rituals, and 1 into Soul Aegis. Now, I spent a ton of points too right here early on, because this is going to give you minion poison chance, but the points are better in other places. So we ended up dumping this, just FYI. I know I'm going to get questions on that. Moving over to Necromancer. We have 6 into Risen Army, 5 into Grave Thorns. You will notice that minion armor I have gone very heavy into. So really we're taking this node for that minion armor percent. 3 into Cursed Blood, 4 into Aegis Fall, which is going to give 100% shred chance. 1 into Blood Armor, 5 into Mortar Tether, 1 into Unbound Necromancy because we need that extra skeleton. 5 into Tyrant, 5 into Tyrant's Legion, because this is going to give Summon Skeletons poison penetration and +1 to max skeleton. 3 into Frantic Summons, 10 into Rotting Armor. And this is going to give minion melee poison chance. That's 70% with the inherent 20% on the Skeleton Rogues, with the 100% you're going to get from Aura of Decay. Your poison chance is not a problem. You will have consistently over 400 stacks when everything is boosted. And then you just want to go right around. You've got 3 into Circle of Life. This is a health regen build, so empty the graves. You want 4. 1 into Discipline of the Necromancy, which will give you another Death Knight, and then 5 into Veins of Malice. Every single time you cast Dreadshade, you are going to Frenzy and haste your minions for 5 seconds. Again, you will notice a huge damage boost after you use Dreadshade. Lastly, we've gone over to Lich and added 31 points into this tree. 10 into Apo, which is mana regen and intelligence. 5 into Desolation, which is going to give increased minion damage over time. 8 into Lasting Stench. This is going to be poison duration and poison damage. And for this build, your poison damage is going to have a 200% effectiveness on your skeleton rogues. So you want as much base poison damage as you can get. And then this is something that I played around with, and it is important. Bed of Souls is going to give you vitality, which is going to give you life and your minions more armor, and then better health regen. So I have actually spec'd out a ton of damage to give more survivability, which is normally not the way I roll, but when you're over 400 corruption, it's needed. Those are the passives. Moving over to Last Epoch tools, where we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. And for our blessings, we are spec'd fully into survivability. We have void resistance, physical resistance, endurance, and all resistance. And then over here, we are taking Lagon's awesome health regen blessing, which will give you up to 200% health regen and base health regen. I'm trying to move away from ward and move into health regen. And so far, we've been pretty successful. Looking at idols, there are idols that'll boost your overall damage in this build. I don't think they are needed, but you can go that route if you want. I am fully spec'd into life. Double life, 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 life. The only affix that we have is chance to apply marked for death on hit with minion skills. This can even be a bottom roll, and it'll trigger all the time. This will lower enemies' resistances by 25%. So make sure you get chance to apply marked of death on hit with minion skills. Now, moving over to the gear. There is a singular item that is required for this build, and it is very easy to target farm if you're COF, and the item is free if you are in the Merchant's Guild, and that is Lethal Concentration. And Lethal Concentration does two things that are awesome. One, your poison damage modifiers also apply at up to 210 effectiveness to your skeleton rogues, and minions leech 8% of their poison damage as health, and you can get up to 3 minion levels to your skeleton rogues. So I guess it does 3 things really, really well. And that means that you want to stack as much poison damage as humanly possible, because they are going to double it and then give that to your skeleton rogues. It is absolutely awesome. You need to have Lethal Concentration. Now, we are also taking Hollow Fingers. And again, Hollow Fingers with 2 LP are free in the Merchant's Guild and very easy to target farm for COF. And this is just going to give us some implicit damage. It's going to give you some cold resistance, but why we use it is it's going to give you an extra skeleton rogue. So this is going to give you +1 to maximum skeletons, and you do need 2 of them. This is how I am rocking 6 skeleton rogues. Now, the rest of the gear is just crafted exalted items, amulet, poison damage, minion health, and you'll notice the health regen, helmet, level 2 Golem, vitality, health regen. Armor, minion health, level to skeleton, double health. Belt, mana regen, poison damage, crit avoidance, hybrid health. Boots, vitality, movement, double health. Relic, level 2 skeleton mages, minion health. And gloves, intelligence, minion health, health regen, and hybrid health. Now, when you put all of this together, all right, close to max resistances on everything. Fire and lightning are at 65. I didn't feel like there was anything in here I wanted to switch out to get that, but you could bring down your life and spec into elemental resistance if you wanted to. Health regen right now is 406 life per second, and this does not include the bonus you are going to get on your passives right here. Increase health regen per minion. So realistically, in game, your health regen is close to 550 life per second, which feels really, really good. So you've got tons of health regen, you got decent resistances, you've got max crit avoidance, you've got maxed endurance, and you have over 4,000 life. Of course, you can still die, but you are a pretty tanky, non-ward using Necromancer. Last but not least, let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great, but how do I take it from level 1 to end game? I will show you. Now, me personally, it doesn't matter if I'm a Necromancer or literal Warlock, I level all of my Acolytes the exact same way, and that is, of course, with minions. The first skill I spec into is Summon Skeletons, and I remove Warriors so that we only have Archers. They're way easier to keep alive. They just sit in the back and snipe everyone. So the first thing I do is remove Warriors, and then I come down here and I boost their damage. So first skill, Summon Skeletons. Second skill I take is Summon Volatile Zombie. And what I do is I come up here and take Kill Threshold. This is so great for traversing the campaign, and Kill Threshold on Zombie is awesome because it's going to give you 16%. So the bosses and any big enemies, you will take them out easily with your zombies. Third skill that I take is Summon Bone Golem. This is your meat shield and generates tons of threat. And you just come down here and take these 3 points. It'll keep your golem alive the entire campaign, and all the enemies will focus on attacking it. I then take an unspec'd transplant, and I will throw that on my bar so that I still have a traversal skill when I go through the campaign. So you can move around and you will have 3 minions. You will fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new Poison Rogue Necromancer? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. A couple of asks at the end. Please like, share, and subscribe. Of course, only if you think I've earned it. Check out my Patreon. It is the best way to support. We just got done with movie night and game night. You get access to exclusive content and the VIP lounge on Discord. And lastly, just join my Discord. We're approaching 4,300 members. We do a giveaway every 2 weeks just for being a member of my community. Non-toxic, enthusiastic action RPG gamers. I'm done. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.